Good afternoon. It's December the 11th. It's minus 19 Celsius, so that's minus 3 Fahrenheit, something like that. Minus 2, somewhere in there. Below zero, anyway, Fahrenheit, and well below zero Celsius. This won't be a very long walk. I'm really just going to the grocery store, but no, I'm not going to stretch it out as much as I sometimes do when I go to the grocery store. But I'll stretch it out just a tiny bit by not going straight up Ritalik here, which would take me to the grocery store. I'll go around the Connaught Crescent, which I don't walk along very often, and go up that way, which adds all of a block. And why am I going to the grocery store on a cold day when I could have just stayed inside? Well, need something for the cat. That's really the only thing I'm going for. Been working away on things. I wrote a complete short story yesterday. I think I mentioned that when I walked yesterday. Oh, and by the way, if you wondered why the walk ended abruptly yesterday, it's because the battery died on the iPhone. I thought it had plenty, but it did not. In the cold, it goes down really fast. I don't think I could walk around the lake in cold temperatures like I did 2 or 3 years ago when I, as I often mention, walked around when it was minus 34, walked around the lake. I don't know why my iPhone back then was able to make it around without dying. I'm quite sure this one wouldn't. I really should get an extra battery pack for it, I suppose, but I haven't. Davin School over there. Sorry, Crescent School. We'll always call it Davin. This is Connaught Crescent, which I don't walk along as often as I do some of them. Although I'll come this way when I do my Christmas light walk, I'm sure. In a couple of weeks. Probably around the 23rd, something like that. I'll do that. House for sale. Yes, so as I said, I wrote a short story yesterday, and one reason I wanted to get it written was because it's the last one for my anthology, the final Shapers of Worlds anthology. It'll be the 5th one that I've kickstarted and edited, featuring authors who I interviewed on my podcast, The World Shapers. 5 seems like a good number to wrap up with. Oh, there goes a rabbit. So that was the last story I needed for that. So today I put them all into a master Word document. Looks like about 125,000 words of fiction. So a good-sized book. Now I have to decide what order they go in and rearrange all that. I have to write an introduction. There's some front and back matter, bios and such. And then I'll have a page proof that I can send off to the authors. I'm also missing the artwork, because every story is illustrated by my niece, Wendy Nordell. And she's still working on those. So for the page proof, I will put in placeholder pages, just so I get an accurate page count. Isn't this fascinating? I'm sure you're fascinated by all that. Now, the downside to coming this way is there's not an actual 4-way stop here to cross at, but probably I can manage. Doesn't look like there's any traffic. We're actually walking up Robinson Street, which will bring us down the west side of the grocery store, where the meat store and various other things I've pointed out sometimes are. It'll probably only be about a 10-minute walk, but I don't think I'll bother doing a part 2 for the walk home. But I wanted to put something up just because I missed several days last week. At least the Sidewalks seem relatively clear here. I'm actually going to go to the other side. Fewer cars, so you get a better view. So you can only park on one side of this street. Officially, anyway. Also, I think the sidewalks might be a little better cleared over here. Oh, drat. I had some books I could totally put in a little free library if I had any. I mean, I do have them. I just forgot to bring them. They're not mine. They're some others that I've got that I'd like to clear away. And there are children's books, and that looked like it's specific to children's books, that one. Sometimes in the newer developments, you'll see all the houses have the same plan, but that's not really anything new. You can tell that these are all built by the same developer at the same time. All have this kind of barn roof appearance to them. Clearly all along the same plans. There's a whole row of them here. 4, 5, 6, at least 6. Yeah, 6. 6 that all have that same basic structure. Only a yield sign here, so I have to watch out for this one too as I cross. Only 2 blocks to go, so this will be a very short walk. It's supposed to warm up again after today. It looks pretty nice from now till Christmas. Below freezing, but so we won't lose snow, but warm enough that it'll be pleasant to be out. Warm enough I'll probably be able to go back to just my leather jacket for walking. No major snow currently in the long-range forecast, but that can change without much notice. A nice colorful door. Always color looks nice in the snow. So it's not all just whites and grays and browns. That's probably actually quite an old one there. That's from the style of it. And the brick. And some very uninteresting apartments over on the other side here. This building on the corner is fairly old, but it's got very nice condos in it. We actually looked at one when we were looking. But you could tell it was old because the floor wasn't level. The kitchen in the one we looked at had a pronounced tilt in one direction. So if you dropped something, you'd always know where to look for it. And also it had stairs, and it was on the 3rd floor. We decided not to take it, but it was a nice enough place. And these here, I think these are called the Alpha apartments. Our piano used to live here. As I've often mentioned, the piano belonged to Madame Burkett, an early voice teacher here, and she lived up there because she couldn't stand to have anybody walking around over her head. So at some point, our baby grand piano, maybe called the modern apartments, baby grand piano was up there, came down the stairs, went up the stairs once and came down the stairs when it came out. Once it made it to our living room, it hasn't moved again for the last half a century and change. Oh, more than that. More like 70 years, I would imagine, by now. Yeah, it must be about 70 years it's been in our living room. Even when we did the renovations, it stayed there. They just built a box around it and moved it around as need be. The piano must be 100 years old now. Very close to it, anyway. Boy Meats over there. This is Safeway on the right. And we will stop up here at the corner. So again, very short, sharp walk. Sharp for me anyway, because it is cold. It's been colder, and it will be colder, but it's cold enough. All right, I'll stop right here. So thanks for walking with me. That very brief walk, and I should be back